Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast divisional previews. We are doing these because football is officially back. Joining me on the couch, nice and close, at Danny Webb, AGSAU. How are you, mate?
Football's back, we're back, and what an upgrade. Did you see that intro? That was impressive.
I was playing it through my head as we were watching it just to make sure I didn't stuff it up. Also, at Charlie Pick. How are you, mate?
I'm great. Football is back. We are in our new home, which is very exciting. This is the studio. I think at some point we're going to have to come up with a name for the studio. What's the Browns have the dog pound? Is it? Or is that I'm not saying that. We're definitely not going to call it the dog pound. but something like that. I think we need a name. Maybe people can hit us up with some suggestions for the name of the headquarters.
Well, we've got the lab when we're online. So
Yeah.
That's right.
something, I don't know if we go down that path or something
Maybe.
completely different.
We can't
I
call
like the dog pound.
it. So you can call it the science room.
Yeah. All right, we are back. We're starting with the NFC South. We're starting with the lowest of the lows. The first couple
Spoiler
of episodes.
alert for the season. This is the lowest.
Maybe not. Let's wait and see these hot takes.
From all these hot takes that we've got, this could be quite an exciting division. So we're going to get straight into the best additions from either other teams or the drafts. Danny boy, who have you got to start with, mate?
So starting with the Bucks, a lot of people might disagree with this because of his previous season with the Jets, but I've got Hassan Reddick going over to the Bucks. People forget, like when he was playing for Philly between the years 2020 and 2024, he totaled 50.5 sacks. That is a huge addition to the Bucks that needed that on their defensive end. Yeah, he kind of like powdered when he was at the Jets, couldn't get a contract done, all that sort of stuff. So he had like quite a down season. But if you look back to previously what he did, it's a huge addition to the Bucks defense and something that they really need.
You know, I don't want to be too controversial, but is it just possible that was more the fault of the Jets organisation than Hassan Reddick? Like, that is not a well-oiled machine out of New York. Maybe Hassan Reddick is no problem as long as you know how to run your operation. And I think the Bucks actually run themselves like a proper football program. I think he'll fit right in there.
Are you trying to suggest that anyone who's left the Jets or the Giants and gone elsewhere and been all right, it's not been their fault?
Not entirely.
maybe.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold didn't struggle once he got out.
Pretty well once he got out of there.
But I would hate to suggest for a moment that that Aaron Rodgers is now not a problem and going to go somewhere and flourish. I'm not suggesting that. So
That's
it depends
what I
on the
heard.
player.
That's
I
pretty
think.
much what I heard.
Oh, really?
I can't wait to him to have a good season now.
Charlie's Aaron Rodgers, number one fan.
Number one. Yeah, right behind me. I like that start as well because they've brought on the offensive side, Adam Gotsis, the Australian, coming in as well. So adding on both lines is going to be huge for the Bucks this year.
Absolutely massive. Plus, if we can root for the Bucks, we're all a little bit of a Bucks fan deep down inside, probably because of things that Baker does. But now that we've got another Aussie there, let's go Bucks.
I think, and like we'll come back to when we talk about the season outlook. There is a lot to be said about the Bucks. We'll come back to that.
Falcons, what do we got from there, mate?
So the Falcons added like two pass rushers on the edge, which is huge for them because like their defense was the worst in the NFC South. I think the second worst in the league. So to add massively on them, so they did their first two picks. They got Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., which is two massive pieces that they can add to their defense. And like the Falcons have a lot of questions, and we'll get into all those.
I've got a lot of questions about the Falcons.
We'll get into all those questions like shortly. But one thing they definitely needed to fix sooner rather than later was their defense, and they've gone out and done that in the first two picks.
Do you have anything to add to that? Because that's pretty bloody.
No, that's a
straight.
very
I think
very
the fact that
comprehensive.
we have a lot of questions coming up about them.
Yeah, I do. I think the questions about the Falcons aren't, did they draft pass rushers well in the first round? I don't think that's the question mark over the Falcons at this stage.
We're going to speak about a team that has done something pretty well in the first round, and it's purely because he has the same name as me. Tet McMillan coming back or coming out of the Panthers. I think he could be like a piece that will actually make them really climb this year.
Yeah, well, Bryce has never really had a wide receiver one. And now, hopefully, T-Mac, your namesake.
Can you say his real name?
Is going to be that. No, but Charlie can.
Tete Aroa.
Okay. Smooth.
But that's the thing. Like we were debating when we first saw the name, we were going, is he Tet? but his official nickname within the Panthers is T-Mac. So I'm picturing a jersey swap at some stage. T-Mac.
Yeah, I'll sign it.
You and that'll be a really big deal for him.
Will he be confused receiving a 00 jersey?
No. Do we know what number he is?
Yeah,
Not 00. You're right, though. They've had kind of springs to mind will be Adam Thielen's been their number one for the last few years, but him sliding back to a 2 or 3 would be. I think that's a perfect spot for him.
It suits him right now, and he's like, he's settling into this vet wide receiver role that he's got. He definitely wasn't the Adam Thielen of the past. So let this teammate come in, give Bryce a young superstar to pass to, and hopefully he just steps into that role.
Adam Thielen, fantasy team mainstay. You know, like mid-season when that rookie receiver that you thought was going to pay off isn't paying off. You always end up with the Thielen halfway through the season just to solidify your receiving statistics. And I think it actually takes the pressure off Thielen and he can play a lot more freely.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young.
Well, because at the Vikings, he was a gun, but he was the second or third receiver.
That's right. And if you're worried about Tet, Thielen can run wild in the middle. And for Bryce Young, I think he showed real signs towards the end of last year that he was starting to feel solid as a quarterback option. The fact that he's got some weapons to hit and he's building a relationship in the offseason and even in the, it's looking promising even from this little glimmer we've had from the first preseason game. A lot of positive talk about T-Mac coming out of the Panthers.
And there's actually been a lot of positive talk about Bryce as well.
Ever since they benched him.
Yeah, they benched him, then he came back. But even in this, like all the news coming out of training camp and the preseason and everything is like looking like he's going to have like quite a big leap. And maybe T-Mac can help him do that.
Yeah, both of us. And we'll say there might be some hot takes about that later. The last one, I know we've gone to you a fair bit, but this one is definitely close to your heart. They're probably 2 or 3 removed now, but what are the Saints brought in that you like?
Yeah, so they brought in Kellen Moore, which is obviously the Super Bowl winning OC, which came from the Eagles. And, the Saints definitely need a big overhaul. Is this year the year that they're going to do it? Well, it's a 36-year-old rookie head coach, like the youngest head coach in the league currently. Is this going to be enough for the Saints? Or do the Saints have a lot more questions surrounding them with... they haven't figured out who they've got as their number one QB. Their QB room is questionable at best. I don't know. It's a big ask for this rookie head coach, but hopefully they keep him on for more than 1 year.
Yeah, that's the thing about the young head coach that takes over a team, and this is a tale as old as time. They don't take over a great team.
Nah.
It's like a
QB going first you're not coming into a good team if you're going first.
That's exactly right. And so, and it's often I think it's so hard if it's your first head coaching job, and you are always handed a basket case, and either you get it right from the ground up, or if you're trying to patch up what's already there, you are in trouble. So, can he reset the culture? Does he have that in him? That's the question, and also does he have the pieces there to actually work with and build it?
Well, it was his first year as the Eagles OC as well, and he's gone one and done, got a Super Bowl, and then went straight now to being a head coach. It's a quick transition.
It is a quick transition. I guess the thing that works for you there is he doesn't officially have tendencies yet, so no one can scheme for him.
It's not as if he was his first OC.
No, he was first OC with the Eagles,
yeah.
And then he went straight to win a Super Bowl. Had a pretty stacked offense,
yeah.
If I say so myself.
Wasn't a bad one, yeah.
Arguably a different situation.
Yeah, from the GM down.
Yeah.
That leads us straight into the next segment we got is players to watch that aren't necessarily either being talked about or that you kind of see boys going places. And I reckon we start with the Saints in that situation. The QB room, who do you think, Danny Boy?
Well, that's hard. That is the biggest question mark. Are they going to use their rookie that they've just drafted in Tyler Shough, or are they going to rely on Spencer Rattler or Jake Heener?
Who's probably still technically a rookie. He didn't play too much.
He played hardly any snaps, and this is all because Derek Carr's gone out and retired due to his shoulder injury, had so many surgeries. He's like, look, I can't throw the ball like I used to, so I've got to retire. And the Saints were kind of resting the hat on the fact that they had a vet QB in Derek Carr, and now he's gone. So who's going to suit up for him? And they still don't know. If they still don't know after 1 week of preseason and all the training camp, oh boy, they might be in a bit of trouble.
And looking at the like what little we've seen in the preseason, it's not clear on the field. There's no one standing out. You know, there are people trying to, once again, back on fantasy, a lot of people trying to convince people that Slough is an option and you should pick him up and it's going to end up that way and be positive. But I don't think it's clear. I don't think they're confident about that at all.
Do we have a depth chart for them yet?
There would be one up, but how accurate it is, no one knows.
No, not even them.
Not even them, and that's the biggest question.
Oh, well, I think probably a bigger question, which leads straight into the Falcons, which a hot take could also be a part of this QB room at the Saints. Which QB are they going for going into this season?
No, they've 100% gone with Michael Penix Jr. He is listed number one on their depth chart. Kirk Cousins became like a huge household name with both seasons of quarterback that he was in. We saw him get benched in that second season of quarterback, how heartbroken he was, and he started playing with the second stringers and went out and dominated straight away. And he had multiple games in a row for the first time in his career where he couldn't get a touchdown pass. And now he's the most paid backup QB of all time.
The highest paid backup QB ever.
Which is like, it's wild to think about it. Like, that's what the Kirk Cousins that we all know, and now is just going to be a backup. Like, will he get traded?
It's inevitable, isn't it? Like it just feels like someone will need a quarterback. Probably the Browns, but someone will need a quarterback.
Wow.
Well, I think if he was going to get traded, they would have traded him. They had to pay him an extra $10 million to keep him on this year. They would have traded him before that because then they could have got out of that part of that contract. But obviously, they would have shopped him around, and then probably no one was that interested.
Yeah, or are they not sold on Penix?
Ooh, that's a little spicy number.
Keep
I don't
him
mind
around
that.
just because they're like, well, maybe. Or are they, is it the old, well, let's keep a veteran QB to just, this year. We'll pay him $10 million. It'll be worth, bringing Penix along for the ride kind of thing.
And Cousins is, of all the veteran QBs out there, what we know of him is he is very supportive of young players. He's happy to be that veteran QB as a mentor, as opposed to the Favre model of I'm not going to help you, and Rodgers going I'm not going to help you. There is actually possibly an environment there that he does believe in putting the team first and helping a young player thrive. So maybe that's in his character.
We did see that in QB where I think he got given the news that you were now the backup, and the first thing he did was kind of like ring him and tell him that he's got the starting job. So
yeah,
he does have that kind of father figure, and looks like he's happy to help.
I'm amazed I went like, mate, that's not the backup QB's job.
There's reps on the field.
Sorry, mate.
And I think Penix has almost done enough to solidify that number one spot. Like, he's got that left arm, and it's an absolute cannon too. And we've gone the whole way through this. So obviously he finished last season. Now we've gone through training camp into week one, and he's still the QB1 in the Falcons' eyes, which is obviously proving enough.
We've kind of spoken about who we think the Panthers, person, which is Tet McMillan for sure. So what about the Bucks? Who are they not talking about at the Bucks that they really probably should?
Well, I mean, it's Baker Mayfield. They have a great QB that no one talks enough about. There just needs to be more Baker Mayfield conversation around the league. And this is an early hot take. I think the Bucks are a serious contender to go all the way.
Ooh,
I think the Bucks are a lot more dangerous than people think. And I think a lot of it is to do with Baker Mayfield. He took the Browns to the playoffs and played great football. The only thing that really derailed him in Cleveland was the fact that he was injured and played injured, because unless he played injured, the team had no chance to win. And it really delayed his recovery, and he couldn't play properly. He barely had half an arm stuck on the
the other arm was in a sling while he was on the field. Unreal.
And we've seen from him that he loves football. He loves putting it on the line for the team. That one of the great moments in his career will be looking back to when he landed in LA on a Tuesday night, was playing Thursday night football and won the game down to the wire, headbutting all the other players on their helmets with his bare head, which didn't seem to bother him at all. No. And he's got that fire and that belief and passion that you kind of need in the mix. And he's got some good weapons. The receiving core there. Evans is still coming back from injury, but they've still got Godwin. Godwin's coming back from injury, but there's still targets to throw to. They've got a good scheme, and they are, as I said before, a proper football program. And I think we'll be talking a lot towards the end of the season about Baker Mayfield, similar to last year when Jared Goff was on that short list of 4 or 5 MVP candidates. I think Baker Mayfield is going to be on that in that conversation. There you go, another hot take for you. Baker Mayfield hot take.
Is that your early MVP pick? You're picking Baker.
Not my early MVP pick. I'm saying
mark it down.
He's the included into the 5 QB shortlist because his record will be good enough that it's hard to ignore. Similar to Jared Goff, who played incredible football last year and justifiably was on that shortlist.
He does. He's a gunslinger. You come up with 16 interceptions last year, but I feel like that comes with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, if he tidies up those interceptions as well, like that's his game. So he is going to always look big, go downfield, get a heap of yardage. But if he can tidy up those interceptions, of course he's going to be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, and I just he's the only player that I can think of off the top of my head that he loves if you're talking about him, and he loves it if you're not talking about him. He can spin it either way. He's like, yeah, Grouse, talk about me. I love it. If you're not, why the fuck are you not talking about me? Like, I love this either way.
Baker's just happy being Baker, you know?
Well, now he's found his home. He's found his home in the Bucs. And
team that wants him.
A team that wants him, and he knows that, and now he's showing so much love back to Tampa. And the fact that he's gone to the playoffs multiple times, gone to like the conference finals once, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't throw these things out into the... You've already come up with a couple of hot takes. Do you have a hot take, not necessarily about Baker?
Yeah, like this one isn't that hot, but it's just really interesting looking at the Falcons' scheduling. In their first 5 games, 4 of them they're playing previous playoff teams. And I know I spoke about them improving their defense, but as we spoke about a lot with the whole QB thing, what if the Falcons fall to 1-4? Then do they go back to looking back at Kirk Cousins? Is that why they're keeping him around? Because they've already gone and looked at their first 5 weeks, and we're like, wow, if we go 1-4, we might actually have to plug you in, at least to finish some of these games to see like how it's going to actually look.
Because I imagine going 1-4 as a rookie QB or second-year QB is a bit of a kick in the plums.
Well, it's similar to what Bryce did, and then he got benched.
Yeah.
So like we've seen it done in the past. Obviously, different organizations, different ownerships are going to want different things. But this,
and they think they're winning now still.
Yeah, Atlanta thought they were winning now when they brought Kirk along, and then Kirk wasn't doing the job, so then they upgraded their rookie. So. The history's there. It could potentially happen. So that's my hot take, is that they're going to go 1-4 to start. And then we're going to have so many questions about who's their QB1.
If and when they are 1-4, it's like...
It's happening.
You are just going to be so happy to not be in the press conferences having to answer questions about who's going to be QB this week. It's going to be exhausting.
When does that start?
Week 5.
You reckon week 5? I reckon if they're...
They'll go sooner, I reckon.
1 and 2 is probably a bit early. 1 and 3,
1 and 3, there's some murmurs, absolutely.
1 and 4, they're...
Yeah. Constant microphones in the face.
Who's a QB now? Nice. You've, like I said, given up 3 or 4 hot takes already, so we'll go to mine. Mine's about the Saints, and we know that they're going to be bad, but I reckon they're going to be badder. They're going to be the worst. Wow. They're going to be competing for the number 1 pick next year. And
the tankathon.
And competing with a level of competitiveness they haven't shown on the field.
That's right.
Like, they're going to go hard for that number 1
Not since Drew Brees has been on that field have they been this competitive. And Danny Boy, I reckon they could be a serious chance of going 0-17.
0-17. So it's interesting. I looked this up because I saw it on the run sheet, and I was like, I wonder. Like, because most teams, when they're paying 0 wins, because it's so rare that it happens in the NFL, is up around that $500 to $1,000 mark. Like, you put on $1, you get $1,000 back. Wild. For the Saints, it's only at $101. It's such short odds for like something that's so far fetched, because a team's going to stumble when they play the Saints somehow. Don't ask me who at this point. I can't pick off the top of my head. But someone will stumble and fall, and the Saints will come up with at least a win. So the fact that it's only paying 101 for 0 wins, and then it's even if they do pull away just 1 win, it's $41. You've already lost half your potential winnings off them winning 1 game.
Who are they actually playing? Let's get that up.
Just on the them playing for the number 1 pick, isn't the big narrative for the Saints, but it's Arch Manning going to the Saints? Like, there's a family history there. People have been talking about that as a possibility for a couple of years already. That feels like the perfect way for the story to unfold, isn't it?
And I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I can't, besides maybe the Titans, but, they've got Cam Ward, so I can't really see who they're battling with. Maybe both of them, all three New York teams, maybe, who knows, but I can't, off the top of my head, I don't just throwing bubs.
All three New York teams, really? Okay.
There's only one team in New York.
That's right.
Who else are they going to be battling with?
Yeah, it's tough. It is really tough.
Maybe Cleveland. That's
Yeah, but then if you do that,
the
people like Myles Garrett are going to be real annoyed, or maybe happy. I don't know. Maybe he signed that massive deal to get the number one pick. Who knows? But to me, the storyline makes the most amount of sense if the Saints do drop to that number one pick or raise. I don't. What way do you talk about it when you're losing to go up?
Well, there's every incentive for them to not perform well.
So they've got the NFC West and the AFC East. So there's some
tough
teams in
tough
there.
teams there,
and that's like, even the bottom teams are not easy.
And even in their own division, like we're saying, the Bucs are probably going to improve. The Falcons we've got a little bit of question mark, but the Panthers should improve. So even within their own division, like they might not even come away with a win there, which is rare in itself.
The AFC is obviously your division.
Bills are challenging. I think the Patriots will be a harder team this year. I think they will be very tough. And sneaky, there's a chance that there is a culture reset going on at the Jets. Like a lot of the work coming out of the Jets, and we're going to do the East in another podcast, but there's a lot of talk coming out of the Jets that, and this is like journalists who've been in the game for 20, 30 years saying, we've never seen practice this hard.
Yeah.
Like, so it's possible that the Jets are also tough to contend with.
And Miami, who knows? They could be amazing. They could pump them. They could put 70 on them like they did 2 years ago or whatever. They put 70 on the Broncos. Or
I just think it's a foolish person that tries to predict what the Dolphins are going to do this year. It's very uncertain. But that said, can they beat the Saints? Yeah, I think they can beat the Saints.
Yeah, there's every chance. And the NFC West, that's pretty stacked. If
Stafford's doing okay, like his health's a concern, but the Rams are trouble, like they really are. The Niners should be better than they were last year. There's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, Seahawks and
yeah.
Good. All right, the unders overs brought to us by our good friends Unibet. Do you want to start? We'll start at the bottom, Danny boy. Who's going to?
Yeah,
so we'll start with the Saints.
As we've gone through, and it's pretty clear that the Saints are at the bottom. Their over under is at 4.5, and for the over, it's paying $1.61, which I'd almost say that all three of us potentially disagree with.
Yeah.
That they're going to get more than 5 wins.
Yes,
more than 4.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see it happening.
They might, like you said, they might stumble 2 or 3. I can't see them getting 4.5.
No, definitely not. Not with so many questions in the QB room and everything else, and then now we're saying they're going for their number one pick. I'd agree that all three of us are saying they're going under that 4.5 mark, which is technically the more juicier odds.
100%. I did get to watch their first preseason game on DAZN, which we did find out during the week that you don't have ours. Which
no, I don't.
We're gonna.
I need to rectify my subscription.
Yes.
I've been just a consumer up until this point.
Yeah.
I'm an
insider.
Support
the pod.
Yeah, that's right.
Get around
absolutely.
the pod that you're now involved with. So if anyone else wants to get on our DAZN as well, it's in our link tree. It's everywhere. DM us if you can't find us. We'll hit you up. But it is great for preseason games and all the other shows that are getting around. They look terrible, so I can't see them definitely 4.5 being way too much.
More interesting, moving on to the Panthers, their over-under is actually set at 6.5, which is them improving on last year. And if they go over that 6.5 mark, they're paying $1.83.
Yes. So it's about, it sounds like it's about right, I don't know. Again, they've got 2 tough divisions. I see them getting better, Tat McMillan especially really elevating them. So I reckon that 6.5's pretty good. I'm going to controversially say unders.
Oh, wow, big swing.
I'm going to say over. So I've got a little bit more faith that Bryce Young has. I think he's learnt how to win. I think the game has slowed down for him, and I do think he's got at least 7 wins in him this season. It won't be easy, but that's football.
And out of those 7 wins, we've already talked down that they've got 2 against the Saints. So you just got to win 5 more times. So give me those overs as well. Moving on to the Falcons. The Falcons over under sitting at 7.5 and paying $1.78.
That was favourite to go over.
Favourite to go over. So
And they're already 4-1, or 1-4. 1-4. So they're going to be pushing shit uphill. Again, they have to. It all depends on Penix. If he comes out and lights it up, the 7.5's probably comfortable.
And as I said at the start, they've improved on their defense. Their offense, their wide receiver
Cole
rooms.
Pitts could be a brand new player.
That perennial preseason narrative of this is Kyle Pitts' year.
Fantasy?
No, I've made that mistake before. I've picked Pitts in fantasy before, and it's always a disappointing, a disappointing run. So yeah, I'm not confident that that's ever going to happen. Condolences to the Pitts family, and I just reckon there aren't signs that is going to solve itself. I reckon they'll go under. We don't know. I mean, Penix could be.
Yeah,
it could be a freak show, but at this stage, without the data, you don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was the one who called them going 1-4, so it'd be crazy. But I'm taking the overs.
And we'll wait. Once they're 1-4, then we'll hit the others.
Yeah, because it'll be way juicier then. But
you're really riding the Falcons roller coaster.
But that's what it was last year. It was a complete roller coaster. Like they lost so many games in a row. Bench Kirk, then
Michael went 3 in a row. They won 3 in a row. They lost. It was real up and down.
So it's going to be the same again. And watch me laugh all the way to the bank with those overs. Moving on to the Bucks, they're over under sitting at 9.5 at $2.05. So they're favoured to go under 9.5, which I'm going first for this one. There's no way they're going under 9.5. Like they're a team that you can picture going 11 wins, 12 wins, 13 wins, or 14 wins and going all the way to the top. Like I could see that happening. I could see them challenging someone in the NFC like the Eagles to go for that many wins.
Yeah, underestimate the Bucks at your peril. I think absolutely they're going over. And I think they're 11 or 12 win team.
I think they'll go overs, but like you said before, contenders, they got 2 pretty tough divisions they're playing. So if they can get through and have 11 or 12 wins, they're contenders because they're going to have to do it the hard way.
And we've spoken about before, time and time again, like you want to almost be playing harder teams as you go into that playoffs because steel sharpens steel. Like if you have an easy run to the playoffs, we've seen it happen before where the teams like the Lions and the Vikings of last year, going out in the first round because, they might have had an easier run to get there. They had the huge win totals.
They played each other in the last game.
Yeah. to find out who got the top, though. Yeah. So, but then they both had first round exits, no? So, had an easy-ish run, let's say, to get there, and then, just didn't pay off.
Yeah, 100%. So, nice. First step done and dusted for the new year. 2025 football is pretty much on our doorstep. Join us next week, AFC South, the second dumpster fire of the divisions.
But the only way is up, and that's a good thing. We get through these going division by division, and we really there are some great, exciting teams and some great football to talk about as well along the way.
Yeah, I reckon this next one's going to be an absolute cracking episode. So make sure you're there.
Go Birds.
Nice.